stimulus, response.
Hey, girl. Let's get this thing off. And it's time for a hike or some action or something. To me, I think to live at large in the Intermountain West on a bike has a certain romance and a certain charm to me. You sort of forget that you're going to have to deal with traffic on the roads and private property in terms of where you're going to camp, and also you get lumped in with the homeless population, just sort of is sort of a de facto kind of grouping, that most people just, so you have to fight that a little bit, if people are interested, you have to show, you're not quite, you haven't fallen that far yet, or slipped down that far. Yeah, anyway.
You are homeless, but you're not.
Yeah, I prefer the term house-free.
Yeah.
you know, in the homeless world, we make a distinction between camp and sleeping spot, because camp sounds like firing, pit toilet, leaving gear up all day, hanging out, getting drunk, shooting up. But sleeping spot is much more benign. That is, I mean, every human needs to sleep. So if you just have a spot you go sleep, then, well, you know, you can't fault that. That sounds necessary and non-threatening and non-destructive. So that's something that is used in that world. Mm-hmm. Come on. Hop up, come on. Here. Scoot. I don't even like leaving her overnight at a kennel. I usually start crying when I have to, if I'm going on a trip or something and I have to leave her there, yeah. Yeah. But it's, I don't like to elevate it too much. People often will see my setup and say, oh, and you're traveling with your best friend. And I say, well, this is my dog. My friends are humans. You know, she's great as a dog, and I love her, but she's a dog. She can't talk. She, you know, her level of empathy is somewhat limited. And, you know, let's not take this too far. This isn't, you know, I always say, you're thinking of a different movie. You're thinking of Old Yeller or Lassie. This is not that. I think I've reached the point on this one where there's not a whole lot else to do. I try not to let perfection get in the way of good enough. Yeah, so I took a 4-month contract cooking at McMurdo Base, Antarctica. It was our winter here, but their summer. Flew down through Christchurch, New Zealand, and then onto the ice, got there about, oh, I guess it was late November, mid-November, and then stayed until March. And it was interesting. Big base, 1,000 people. But Scott's little hut is there, pretty much as he left it. The seals and so forth that he and his men had killed to eat when they came back are still there, because they obviously never made it. And they've just become freeze-dried, the carcasses, and they're just kind of lying around the deck of the hut. But you go inside and all their gear and clothes and rations are all just still sitting there. It's really spooky. That's been 100 years. We can go through here. I can show you a bunch of homeless crap that I just dragged over here. Whenever I found something that seemed like it might be useful, I would just kind of pile it up. But it's gotten dispersed. Guys have come through here, or else just kids off the bike path. I don't know. There used to be a shopping cart here too. With that big tarp, I've loaned it out to some guys that drifted through. They used it for a while, then they left, and I went and got it and brought it back down here. It's all kind of useless stuff, but let's go into the main encampment. It might be photo worthy. This was an unbelievable trash heap, and I was still in the process of cleaning up when the fire happened, and now I'm no longer down here, but I would come through every day, and 2 grocery bags was my quota. I'd pick up and haul out. So maybe, I don't know, 50 bags probably out of this. But yeah, there was evidence of some hard living down here. It's funny, I never found much in the way of syringes or even liquor bottles. Just a lot of food wrappers and cans and stuff like that. This is the part of the operation I never liked the cops to see. given my reputation. Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird? Well, I was going to cook rice. I fixed up I must have left it at Daniel's though, so I'll just have to have spaghetti. That's okay. If it weren't for societal reaction to the way I live, there would be almost no issue at all. I just have this vision, it's a romantic vision of living at large with the dog on the recumbent, on the landscape, with time to write and read and think and have a few friends. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's different enough to get the attention of people and to create some biases and some prejudice. And then that happens, and I react to that, and I feel kind of marginalized, and I move a little further out, or I develop some feelings about that, and it kind of perpetuates itself, and that's unfortunate. And I have to fight that a lot. Right. I'm really a very regular guy who just happens to live a certain way because I have a very active imagination. But it's societal's reaction to that choice that then creates a reaction in me, and then it kind of feeds on itself. It's too bad. And I'm often shocked that that's the case. And I often go along just fine in my sort of romantic daydream until something happens, like the skipper fire. Or I'm just sitting over there at the picnic table and the cops show up, something like that. That's probably how a lot of guys end up shoved way off the edge. Just they make a little bit, they deviate just a little bit, and then they get a reaction, and they just keep going. Yeah, it's too bad. This is it. My day-to-day life is my fun. I never take a day off unless forced to. Yeah, that pattern, that rhythm you've seen, that's what jazzes me up every day. Get those writing sessions in, hike with the dog, play the whistle, sketch, work on the website. Yeah. I don't know why I would want to take a break from those things. That's what informs my life and works as a form of expression. Here's the finished product after all that printing and cutting and chopping and paper drilling. And it's got the Chicago posts and webbing and D-rings and some 3mm Perlon, which functions as a bookmark. And came together real nice. I'm surprised more people don't gravitate towards something like that. It's what being a bohemian is. Your life is structured around some artistic pursuit. And there's a long tradition of bohemian types living a sort of voluntary poverty. Puccini's opera, La Bohème. It's all about that.